So it covers at most 7 sectors of the 10 sectors that the economy covers. So what are the sources? We collect this from businesses on a quarterly basis. Of course, QLFS is a continuous survey. This one is a quarterly, but reports on a quarter. I mean, it's quarterly labor force survey, households-based. This one is business-based. And countries and jurisdictions such as the US, including Australia and them, the quarterly employment survey, their annual monthly employment survey, because in the US they run this thing monthly, and the quarterly labor force survey differ all the time because of these reasons that we have. So what have we done? We introduced the 2015 sample survey, QES, the frame, in 2015, and dropped the 2013 frame. And this is based on the SARS database. So what are some of the comparisons that we have here? Employment comparisons based on 2013 and 2015 samples. What we see is that you can see that there are differences in employment between this, and these are the differences. Finance, 115,000, and the total, the difference there between this number and that number is 299,000, a 3.3% a positive difference. So this introduction of the 2015 sample led to qualitative and quantitative improvements. So now coming to the results. That is just one slide. You see this one that just shows you headline differences. There are about 5 more slides that I'll entertain you with about these differences, but let me show you the results first, and we talk to the results, and then we talk to what the improvements that we have made. What we can see here in terms of employment trends from June 2013, we see the peak in June, and this was due to temporary workers during the national elections. And of course, we go down that peak in 2015, and here we can see that employment in Q1 after casual employment in the festive season, that is, there is a festive season where in 2015, that's where the sample is. And we had 9.1 million jobs there. And then this is where the 2013 sample was running. Now, the results quarter-on-quarter change, we can see that between the last quarter of December and the first quarter of March, we lost jobs in mining, we lost jobs in manufacturing, South Africa lost jobs in manufacturing, the jobs in electricity remained the same, construction picked up a bit, trade actually dropped jobs between December and March, and every other sector except community actually dropped jobs. And that led to a 15,000 drop in jobs, or a negative 0.2% between the first quarter of 2016 compared to the last quarter of December. Now, by industry, as we have we are just displaying this information graphically. As you can see, only construction and community held tight on the jobs, but the others actually bled, and giving a net loss of 15,000 jobs. Trade, because the December trade dropped, business services also dropped, manufacturing dropped, the subdued demand for goods and manufactured goods have led to this drop in jobs. And this is how mining has actually played itself from 2013 up to 2016. It was on a trail from 511 to 455,000. That's about 60,000 jobs lost between June 2013 to March 2016. The comparison gives us a gap of 60,000 jobs. Now, looking at the employment trend in the trade sector, we can see what the difference based on the 2015 sample compared to the March 2013 sample. You can see that's a parallel shift that has led, that's the difference in the numbers based on these two samples. That the later sample, we are more confident with this. It is giving us, because we had to run parallel samples based on parallel sources of the information to see where the differences are. We can see that employment trend in business services, the end of contracts and retrenchment, and of course, obviously, there was an increase in seasonal labor in the previous quarter because of Christmas. So the decline is a combination of a number of things. And then these are comparisons in the 2013 and 2015 sample. Having done that, let's go to gross earnings. Here we see that the gross earnings between across time, we can see from 2013 the gross earnings actually increased, peaking in December because that's when people get bonuses, and these gross earnings are reflected there. And if we look at gross earnings between quarter-on-quarter changes, mining gross earnings declined to minus 3.4 by minus 3.4, and the change was 996 millions of rands. And here manufacturing, there we come with the gross earnings. That's the six in the billions, 6 billion, and all in all, gross earnings dropped by 21.9 billion rands. And the quarter-on-quarter changes by sector, you can see negative 6 billion in manufacturing, and negative 996 million in businesses. So this is the information that we are presenting to you, and here is our indications as to how this information can be compared between QLFS and QES. You can only compare by one, excluding employers and own account workers from formal sector. Remove agriculture. Remove the people that work as domestic workers, both in gardens and in the households. But even having done that, methodological differences still give these discrepancies between the two data sets. And in terms of what we have just spoken about, the employment levels of the QLFS and the QES in the formal sector, excluding agriculture, do show the differences here between in mining and manufacturing, and the total difference still becomes 173,000. But we have reduced that difference to about 15,000 now. So I think I'll leave it there with concluding remarks. The concluding remarks, there were 9.3 million jobs in the formal sector, and this included a reduction, or rather it's a result of a reduction of jobs, 15,000 jobs in the first quarter compared to the last quarter of the year. And of course, these are the sectors that have the bled jobs: trade, manufacturing, finance, and community and social. That's government and others increased jobs by 44,000, and construction by 3,000. And gross earnings dropped by 22 billion. Now, once we have filed, we'll tell you about upcoming improvements. They will give you some of the information already that I've provided in terms of just comparing the sample of 2013, or rather the sample based on 2013 frame